Hi, this is Rachel Wolf. I'm the face behind From a Loving Place and From a Loving Place Facebook, along with the author of Letters from a Better Me, How Becoming an Empowered Woman Transforms the World. Today, I'm here to talk to you about choices and perspective. One of the things you'll see a lot on my site is all about perspective, because the thing is we live by our perspectives of truth. Our perspective of truth are our beliefs, and we choose our beliefs, and sometimes we forget that we choose those. So one of the things that you'll hear me saying over and over and over again is our perspectives are our freedoms or our prisons, and we have to choose wisely, because whatever belief system we're choosing is going to create the reality we live in. And I don't just mean it's going to, our reality is going to be this way or that way because we choose to live this, in that, like, the actual things that happen to us may not be different. Like, the pandemic is still going to be here. Just because we choose to live from a loving place doesn't mean that we might not be affected by things. It's how we take them in, what we do with them, that makes a difference. So starting from there, let's talk about our choices. I posted this last week about if you convince yourself you don't have choices, you will choose to believe that is true. If you convince yourself you always have choices, you will choose to believe that is true. I know which perspective I'm going to choose. Now you get to choose for you. I write things all the time on From a Loving Place, and I observe people what they write as comments. And sometimes I can write very positive things, and people will take them in a negative way, and that's because the perspectives that they're choosing to live by don't see how I see. And that's okay. It's different, and I have to be open to see how they're viewing things, and they can choose or not to be open to see how I view things. That's a choice. Sometimes we feel like we don't have choices, we're limited, and that creates this fear in this prison. And the thing is, you have to wonder if you want to live there. Do you want to live in the prison of your thoughts? This doesn't mean we're not going to feel fear. It doesn't mean that we're not going to feel hurt, pain, grief because we choose to live like me from a loving place. It doesn't mean I don't feel those things. But I can be conscious and aware and hold myself accountable and responsible for the choices I'm making when I choose to live in that fear and let that fear perpetuate inside of me. And when it comes out, I can look at myself and go, okay, I have a choice here of how I want to perceive this. I have a choice of how, what I'm going to do with this. And it's so important to know what you're going to do with these things, because otherwise they can start running your life unconsciously. I did that, and I was not in a good place because of it. I chose to hide from what I was really feeling and how I was really choosing to live. I didn't want to see my choices. I was just like, no, I can't, I'm trapped. And we're not trapped. Even in this pandemic, we're not trapped unless we convince ourselves we are. You see people doing all different kinds of things during this pandemic. You can see people fighting for their freedom, and you can also see people who are choosing to do, okay, I have this. What can I do with it? I have skills to sew. I'm going to sew some masks for people. I have skills to create, face guards for people. I have skills to stay at peace. I'm going to share those with people. We keep choosing. They're just choices, but it's where we want to choose to be. Do we want to choose to be in prison or choose to be in freedom? And this is a choice that all is in here. It's all in our heads, because we will convince ourselves we're right of whatever we choose to believe. So pay attention to the choices that you're choosing to feed through your perspectives. When we choose to see there's an option of a way to feel, of a way to look at things, our doors open up. It doesn't mean we have to actually choose to be in that right then, but just seeing that there's a choice can change things. So for those of people who are feeling really scared and worn down by this pandemic, sit with the choices that could get you out of it. It doesn't mean that you have to change those things right now, but it's just saying to look at options, look at ways you can view it. One of the things I do is if I'm stuck in a feeling that I don't like, I will look at things of ways other people have looked at it in a different way. And then I'll start writing down all those different perspectives. It doesn't mean I'm going to choose to live by that right now, because you have to believe it. You have to believe whatever your perspectives of truth are. They have to be a belief within you. And that's how our realities are created in that way. So if I'm trying to force myself to feel a certain way or force myself to look at something, it's not going to work. I have to, first of all, see that there's an option, see that there's this place that I do feel like a prisoner, and know that I want to get out of it. I have to see all those things first before I'm actually going to be able to do the work to change. I've been in some very sticky and ugly situations, and I do remember feeling completely trapped, completely lost, and completely empty. And I was in fear all the time. All the time. I was in a literal mental prison of fear. And it was a very hard place to live. And I didn't like it, but I couldn't see my way out yet. I had to be open first. I had to be open to see. And that's the thing, is when we can start that simple thing of questioning, just question where you are in this moment, and do you want to be there? You start with that question, and all of a sudden things start shifting. It's amazing how it works, but first of all, we have to choose and see that, do we want to be in this moment we're in? Am I creating a prison for myself by my thoughts, or am I creating freedom? When we can do that, when our choices go there, it's amazing what opens up. The doors start opening up. And one of the things that I noticed is when I just questioned, all of a sudden people started showing up into my life. Books started being presented to me. I would be told to read a book by three different people, and they weren't even connected to each other. I would pick it up and it would be exactly what I needed to see. So once we see and can understand that we do have choices, doors will open up to lead you to the life you want. But we can't get there until we acknowledge where we are right now, and if it's a place we really want to be. Because whatever we decide is going to project out to the world, and it's gonna come back to us. So how we talk to ourselves matters, how we talk to others, what ideas we're putting out into the world, it all matters. It all creates this freedom or prison we're gonna choose to live by in our heads. So with that, if you are stuck, if you feel like I have to get out of this space here, start writing down just other options of ways to think. You don't have to change them. Just see them right now and see what happens for you, because I know it is what set me free. And this little talk that I'm giving right now is not going to do anything in the big picture of things, because there's so much more to choices. This is just the beginning. This is just the seed. And what you choose to do with the seed that's your business. You can throw it away, you can plant it, you can make it a big tree in your garden. But I can tell you one thing, just seeing made a huge difference for me. One of the reasons I wrote Letters from a Better Me, How Becoming an Empowered Woman Transforms the World, is because I wanted people to see what I went through and how I got through it based on those ideas. And it was such a powerful journey to me, and it really did change things, but it took time. So choice by choice, perspective by perspective, seeing if they will create your freedom or your prison, and seeing where you want to live. I know where I do, but it takes being present and focusing on where we are. Don't hide from your feelings. Feel them, acknowledge them, and then choose where you want to take them. Have a wonderful day. Love to you all.